Hello students, hope you enjoyed learning how to use the simple past tense in lesson 4. Now let's move on to the simple future tense. The word future indicates that we are going to talk about actions that will or may take place at a point of time in the future. These actions are sometimes pre-planned. It also means that we can talk about an action or condition that will begin and end in the future. The verb forms are used in different ways to talk about the future. It may seem to be complicated, but once you master the structure of the verb forms, it becomes easy and simple. Let us see the structures on the next slide. The most common verb structures used to talk about actions that will take place in the future are as follows. The first structure is will plus base verb. For example, I will come, will study, will bake, will listen, etc. And also look at the examples. She will visit us tomorrow. I will bake a cake in the evening. In these two sentences, we are using will plus base verb along with a future point of time. Now the second structure is the be form plus going to plus base verb. Like in the sentence, she is going to visit us tomorrow. Now here you notice that the be form can either be am, is or are, depending upon the noun or pronoun that we use as a subject. The third structure is be form plus base verb plus ing, like in she is coming tomorrow. Again, here you notice that the be form can be am, is or are, and this is done according to the subject. In all these examples, we notice that the action has not yet taken place, but will take place at a future point of time. Now here we see that the helping verbs will or shall can be used along with the root verb. For example, shall is used with the first person pronoun I or we in traditional grammar, and will is used with the second and third person pronouns. But it can also be used with first, second and third person pronouns, like in shall or will plus the base verb. Now that we know the basic structure of the future tense verb, let us go into its uses. The first one is when we talk about future plans that are decided at the moment, that means in the present, we use simple future tense. He will attend the party next week. Here we notice that next week is a point of time in the future, hence the verb will plus base form has been used, and this is a very formal usage. In the next example, we have a sentence, he is going to attend the party next week. And here we notice that the verb is used in a particular way. We have the be form plus going to plus the base verb. And this is more of an informal usage to talk about future events. See a few more examples using the full form and the contracted form of will. Look at these two examples. Do you want to go to the movies later? Sure, I'll go. Or, sure, I will go. So you notice that you have an apostrophe and LL used as the short form. Look at the next example. She will do whatever her mother tells her to do. She'll do whatever her mother tells her to do. So we have the full form as well as the contracted form. Again, we have some more examples for you. When you enter the room on Monday, you will see a sign-up sheet on the table. When you enter the room on Monday, you'll see a sign-up sheet on the table. Let's see the second structure, be plus going to plus base verb. Where do we use it? We use it to talk about future in a casual manner, and this will be somewhat informal. And you should also make a note that am, is and are is chosen according to the subject, which could be either a noun or a pronoun. For example, I am going to visit my friends tomorrow. Here we have the full form of the verb. In the next sentence, I'm going to visit my friends tomorrow, which is the contracted form of am. She is going to attend the meeting next week. She is going to attend the meeting next week, contracted form of is. Finally, they are going to vacate the house next month. They are going to vacate the house next month. And this is the contracted form of are. So in all these examples, you will notice that I and am have been contracted. She and is has been contracted. They and are is also contracted. And the contracted forms are very frequently used in conversational English, which we also call as spoken English. Let's see be plus ing verb, the present progressive or present continuous structure of the verb. Am, is, are plus base verb plus ing can also be used to talk about actions that will happen in the future. That means these actions are pre-planned and they are definitely going to take place. This is normally used by English speakers. Look at the examples. My roommate is going to London in November. We are planning to discuss the reopening of schools in the next meeting. We are planning to discuss the reopening of schools in the next meeting. This is the shortened form or the contracted form. Similarly, I'm starting a new book tomorrow. Once again, we have the contracted forms. So from this, we can understand that the be forms can be contracted when we speak them or when we use them in spoken English. We can use the simple future to speak about predictions. That means something that will happen at a point of time in the future. Now, when we speak of predictions, sometimes the point of time may be mentioned or it might be understood from the context. Let us look at the first two examples here. He will be promoted because of his hard work. Prices of essential items will rise. Now you will note that in these two sentences we have used the simple future verb form, but the point of time is not specifically mentioned, yet it can be understood from the context. Now let us look at the third sentence. There will be an increase in the day temperature. Here also we are using the simple future, and this is a prediction about the increase of the temperature during the daytime. Now go to the next sentence. She will become the next CEO of the company. This is again a point of time in the future, and hence something is going to happen there, and that is mentioned or spoken of by using the simple future tense. And finally, we have a sentence. The hospital will need more beds to accommodate more patients. So here you notice that in all these sentences, there are predictions of what will happen or might happen at a point of time in the future. Finally, let us see a few more examples using the simple future tense in affirmatives, negatives, and questions, both in their full and contracted forms. We will begin the online class next month. This is the full form of the verb. They'll begin the online class next month. We will not begin the online class next month is a negative sentence. We won't begin the online class next month. Will you begin the class next week? Won't you begin the class? When will they reopen the educational institutions? These two sentences are questions. And last of all, we have, she will not come tomorrow or she won't come tomorrow. So you notice that the simple future helps us to speak about the future and also to speak about actions that we plan in the present. And the simple future is very easy and it is not as complicated as it looks like at the beginning. It only needs a little bit of practice, and practice will make you perfect. So let's meet once again in the next lesson, and thank you for listening. Goodbye.